Hello and welcome to this Tuesday edition of Cronkite Sports Now. It may be early in the week, but we have plenty of baseball action around the league, so let's get into it. Today on Cronkite Sports Now, we've got your March 3rd Cactus League updates from around the valley. One minor league team decides to implement the 2021 pay increase immediately, and he's a slugger. An 8-time MLB All-Star takes a swing at Topgolf in Scottsdale. Welcome inside our downtown Phoenix studios. I'm your host, Lauren Koval. We've made it to March, but before the madness of college hoops begins, let's talk baseball. We have reporters across the valley on this Tuesday morning bringing you spring training updates. Now we're going to send it to Cronkite News reporter Brandon Jensen, who is with the Giants in Scottsdale. Brandon?
Thanks, Lauren. Hunter Pence returned to the Giants over the offseason, and yesterday he made a spring training debut against the Diamondbacks. He laced an RBI single to left center field early on in the 8-1 win. I spoke with Hunter Pence last week, and he said that he's just happy to be back in the orange and black.
And just to be back with a lot of my friends, you know, it's basically family here, and just doing what I love to do and doing it for such a great organization, great fan base, great city. It's amazing. As of now, the Giants are easing Hunter Pence back, and they're not playing him on back-to-back days. So you won't see him playing today against his former team, the Texas Rangers. But with a major league contract signed, you'll see more of him as spring training play continues and we move on to the regular season. Now we're sending it over to Bree Peters, who's also at Scottsdale Stadium.
Thanks, Brandon. I'm also here at Scottsdale Stadium, and one thing I find super neat is that whenever you walk into the Giants clubhouse and you turn your head to the right, there is this wall filled with cubbies with a whole bunch of fan mail. But Jeff Sanmarcha says the team reads whenever they feel like they need some good juju. So hopefully that good juju shows up when they take on the Texas Rangers tonight. Now over to Alberta in Mesa with the Oakland A's.
Oakland Athletics pitcher Frankie Montas had an impressive performance, pitching 2 scoreless innings in a 5-2 win against the Chicago Cubs here at Hohokam Park last night. Frankie Montas is looking to rebound this season after suffering an 80-game suspension last season for testing positive for the banned substance Ostarine. The A's will be looking to win once again today in an away game against the Chicago White Sox at Camelback Ranch. That was all from me here at Hohokam Park. Now over to Surprise with CJ Chiris, who's with the Texas Rangers.
Through the first 10 games of their spring training schedule, the Texas Rangers sit at 6-4 heading into today's matchup against the San Francisco Giants. But with last night's news of multiple tornadoes ripping through the city of Nashville, Tennessee, many members of the ball club find it hard to solely focus on today's game. Many players on the team have spent time with the Nashville Sounders, the Rangers' AAA affiliate, and have roots back in Music City. Pitcher Tim Dillard said he even woke up to about 20 missed calls and messages from people checking up on his house and family back in Nashville. Manager Chris Woodward touched on the subject earlier today.
I think our front office staff was actually here. They're in town, so I know they have, friends and family that we're all kind of, thoughts and prayers are going out to hopefully they're safe.
The Rangers ball club looks to keep their heads up as they head out to Scottsdale to face the Giants. First pitch for that one is set for 1:05. Now we'll send things over to Kirsten Corns, who is out in Maryville covering the Brewers.
Thanks, CJ. Brewers non-roster invitee Logan Morrison is feeling pretty confident right about now that he belongs in the big leagues. After hitting a 3-run homer 2 games in a row, Morrison spent his off day yesterday at Phoenix Children's Hospital, announcing bingo and playing games with the children. Let's hear more from Morrison about why he chose to spend his off day at Phoenix Children's.
It's a tough situation to get put in there, and you want to make them feel like they're a part of society still. So it's good to go out there and get some perspective, and guys worry about going 0 for 4 or whatever it may be. There's a lot worse things that could happen. So it's definitely a good thing to get out there and get some perspective and just make the kids smile and feel good.
After having the day off yesterday, as you can see behind me, the Brewers are back in full swing here today at American Family Fields of Phoenix. Now let's go ahead and throw it back to Lauren in the studio.
Thanks, Kirsten. Now the Brewers are just one of a handful of teams you'll be able to watch today as we've got beautiful sunny skies across the valley. The Brewers will face off against the Padres in Peoria. The Cubs will travel to Scottsdale to play the Rockies. Both of those games start at 1:10 p.m. And your hometown Arizona Diamondbacks will play a night game in Surprise against the Royals. First pitch, 6:05. Madison Bumgarner is no stranger to his off-the-field activities being publicized. He recently shared with us his rodeo alter ego that goes by the name Mason Saunders. Head on over to our Cronkite Sports Twitter account to vote on your favorite fighter, the one on the mound or the one in the arena. Players in the big leagues make significantly more money than the top salaries in the lower levels. What is Major League Baseball doing to make pay a little better for those minor leaguers? Rob Warner has the story.
In 2021, Major League Baseball will increase the minimum salaries for minor league players between 38 and 72%, depending on the level. But for the San Francisco Giants, the organization is going to implement these salaries right away, starting in 2020.
I think it's pretty cool that the Giants are taking the first step in this and increasing minor league wages, and I think it's been something that's needed to happen for a little while now.
The baseball world has turned to a full year schedule for training and stuff like that, so I think it's really helpful to help guys get a full, opportunity to really give themselves to their best potential.
For players like longtime minor league pitcher Trey McNutt, the money will also be key in acquiring living necessities.
Just to go out and, buy decent food, not have to have 6 guys live in the same apartment complex, gas money. The list goes on and on, really.
Many fans expect major leaguers to be very well paid, but in the minors, managing one's money can be tough. As 11-year minor league veteran McNutt explains, sometimes players need to be, creative to save money.
For my first year in low A, I think there were 6 of us living in a 2-bedroom, and I was sleeping in the kitchen, so that's about as far as it goes. And the front door broke the second week we were there, too. The lock just broke. We got it fixed and everything. Before, we were having to use pliers to twist the knobs to get it to lock and everything. So we had to carry pliers in our backpack until they came and fixed it.
Not only are the Giants the first to increase these salaries, but the organization is also going to give players housing allowances, with AAA and AA players receiving $500 each month.
We have some areas, San Jose, Sacramento, those are expensive communities to live in. It's nice that Farhan and the rest of the front office is thinking about that and understanding that it's kind of nice to not have to be concerned about worrying about paying rent and just focusing on getting better as a baseball player.
President of Baseball Operations, Farhan Zaidi, said these changes will cost the Giants at least $500,000 this year, but felt it was important to get a head start on increasing minor league wages. In Scottsdale, Rob Warner, Cronkite News.
McNutt is one of the Giants' minor league players who hopes to receive time with a major league team this season. Now, while many of the minor league players are spending a lot of time focused on improving their skill set, some of the All-Stars are taking time off to have a little fun. Check out Angels center fielder Mike Trout doing what he normally does on the field with a baseball bat. That does it for our today's edition of Cronkite Sports Now. For Arizona sports stories from around the valley, visit the Cronkite Sports tab on arizonasports.com. And as always, for top Arizona news stories, head on over to our website at cronkitenews.arizonapbs.org. And be sure to tune in at 5 p.m. on Arizona PBS for our nightly newscast. Thanks so much for tuning in to this edition of Cronkite Sports Now. Stay tuned for all of your baseball news throughout the rest of the week. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Same time, same place.